Okay, so this tutorial is going to be on the Spellcabulary protocols for practicing your words, so number 3 and number 4. You need to be practicing your words daily for a week. Okay, that means doing 2 activities daily minimum. All right, so that really should be 5 days a week. So you might have to practice a little bit in study skills. You might have to practice at home, but total doing 10 activities might be enough to get you to remember the spelling sorts, the way they're sorted and the patterns, and then also the meanings of the words. Okay, so for some of you that might need to be a little bit more times a week. And we're going to go over the practice options. There are some games on Quizlet that you can play to practice. Mostly these are going to be vocabulary focused. And then a choice board where you can practice a lot of spelling and doing activities in a Google Doc, or actually physically writing and drawing if you want. Okay, so let's go to our sort and check out practice for Quizlet. I know some of you have used Quizlet before, so this is a pre-made list, and if you want, you can make your own. So if you want to make an account, it's free. You can link it through Google, and you can create your own list. Okay, and you can do this with your own words. The nice thing about Quizlet is that you put in the prefixes, you put in what they mean, and you can add pictures. And then you put in your words, what they mean, and you add pictures. For those of you that don't have prefixes, it's just going to be words, what they mean, and then a photo. Okay, and this is really easy to put together if you want to make your own. Looks like it's actually tracking my progress, even though I didn't sign in. I was playing with Quizlet a minute ago, and it's tracking that I missed uniform and tripod. So it's already telling you what you need to study more, which is really convenient. I think this must be a new feature to Quizlet because I haven't seen it before. But down here is where you can see they have every single word from your list with meanings and with pictures. And I believe that you can copy it and remix it if you want. So if you liked most of the pictures that they had, but not some of them, or if you liked some of the meanings that they put in, but not all of them, I think you can make a copy into your own account and kind of remix it and put in your own photos, but keep the rest of it. But I'm not signed in right now, so I'm not going to try that. What you can do on here is first you can just simply do flashcards to practice. Okay, so you just click to flip it. If you want it to read it to you, you click on the little volume button and it will read it to you. You flip to the next flashcard. You just click on the corner down here to flip it and practice it. Another nice thing that you can do is you can print out the cards if you want to study them physically. I don't know how that came up a second ago. How do we print? Okay, so here we go. You go to the dot, dot, dot. You can print off some flashcards if you want. If you're someone who is more tactile and you need to physically work with the words, you can print them. There's all different kinds of options for how to print them, what they can look like. Just mess around with it until you get the one you want. If you want to print them off, you don't have to. Anytime you need to go to the sort, if you're going to print it on a different computer, you can just type in this address. Another thing that you can work on for practicing the meanings of the words, not the spelling so much, is a match game. Okay, so you just grab the cards and drop them on top of each other, and they disappear when you have it right. This one doesn't have a photo for some reason. And you can see that you can see your score and how you rank with other people. So if you have the same list as someone else in the class, you could see, you could kind of race. The other one that is more of a game and like a race is gravity. You want to select that you're answering with the term. You don't want to type in the whole meaning. And just easy means that it will go slower for you. So as the asteroid is dropping down, it's going to have the definition on it, and you're going to type in what the word is. Uniform. And once you type it, the asteroid goes away. And you're just saving your planet from getting hit by the asteroids. It's pretty simple. Let's see, what have we not gone over yet? So Learn is their new feature that tracks your progress. Okay, so they've already been watching me. I did the first level. So as you keep going, it adds new words that you haven't studied yet, and then it also keeps track of the ones you've missed, and it will repeat those for you. So this is a really good feature to keep practicing the meanings and also the spellings, because sometimes you have to type it in. See here, you have to type it in. So that will keep track of it, and that's where they're getting these stats down here. And so you could star these to practice them more often, it looked like in the games. Another feature is spell. So this is one that you're going to want to practice. This can tell you if you're ready for the spelling test or not, okay, based on how many you miss. And it also, you can keep track of which ones you need to practice more in spelling. That's really the only main spell feature of Quizlet. Quizlet is where you really want to practice your vocabulary. And when you go to take your vocabulary test at the end, this is the test I'm talking about. And there will be a link to it. And I'll go over that later when I talk about tests. But let's go back. That's enough about Quizlet. So let's go to Choice Board. This is another way that you can practice your words, and it's really focused on spelling, most of them. So what you can do is you can do these on a piece of paper or keep it in a notebook, and you want to keep it sorted, like title it Sort 25 so you can keep track of it and show your partner who's checking for you or show your teacher who's checking for you. The other thing you can do is make a Google Doc, which is what I did. So I have a Google Doc that I put in my drive in my Spellcabulary folder that's called DC Sort 25 Practice. So I can pick any one of these, and most of them you can do in a Google Doc. You don't have to write them. So if you read over these, I think you can figure out most of them. Tiny write, you would want to handwrite. You write them as small as you can. Sentences you could type. You could type them into sentences. Same with poem or story. You could type that out using at least 8 of your words. Capital letters, you really should handwrite that. Drawing pictures is a fun one. So that one you would want to do on some scrap paper. So just draw pictures for all of your words and what they mean. And then you could also play Pictionary with a partner. So have your words laid out on the table, let them see the choices while you're drawing and trying to get them to guess. That's a fun one. And that one's practicing meanings more than spelling, which is nice. Let's see, what else could we type? This one might be interesting to try to type with your eyes closed, those of you who are good typers, or you can handwrite it. It's both interesting. Also, like with Silly Write, you're writing with like your left hand if you're right-handed, or your right hand if you're left-handed. That would really, you'd have to do that on paper probably. You wouldn't be able to type that. Having someone scramble up your words for you, they could do that on here. They could scramble your word up, and then you would have to try to figure out how to unscramble it. Sign language. I need to put a link here for a sign language sheet. Basically, it's just going to be a PDF that opens that shows you the different sign language letters if you don't know them. So you're signing to a partner, and they have a piece of paper too with all the different alphabet signs so they can try to guess which word you're spelling. Okay, so most of these are really practice for spelling. So if you have other ideas, you can send me an email or run it by your teacher. There's all kinds of ways that you can practice how to spell and the meanings for your words. These are just 2 examples that I really liked. So this is where you're choosing at least 2 activities per day to work on. And I would mix it up. Don't always do Quizlet. Don't always do the choice board. Do a little bit of both.